Well, good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Debbie. How are you?
All right, well, we've got the CMA class today. Thank you very much for teaching for us today, Chris. You know, MiRealSource, we love to have actual realtors teaching our classes. I mean, I can teach you the ins and outs of the programs, but if I'm not out there working and getting my feet wet in this job, then I'm not going to be the one that can really do it for you. Chris can tell you the ins and outs, like if you're in a rural area, this, if you're a city area, this, you might want to do this, you might want to do that, because those are the things that he has stumbled across in his career. And, you know, every time he stumbles and trips on something, yay for us, because we get the benefits of you learning.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to turn off my camera because I will be in the background and I will be checking questions for you, Chris. Don't forget, we do have handouts attached in the webinar. It's in your go-to panel. If it is closed, just open that back up with the orange arrow. There's 4 handouts in there. They are the CloudCMA, adding PDFs in there, which Chris will show you how to do that, and then you'll have the cheat sheet to do that. CloudCMA, the CloudCMA, when you watch your homework out on social media, there's the instructions on how to create a template there for the one using on the web, and how to do the handout, or how to do a CMA, the full version. And of course, the lead gen piece is in there. So those are your handouts. If you have any questions, throw them in the questions box. I will be working that. And if you want, hey, Chris, do you want to do a poll? We'll see how long the class has been in real estate. So it'll kind of give us a gauge.
Yeah, that would be great. If you want to send, I don't know how to send it out. You can go ahead and send that out. Because I was going to ask, you know, the attendings here, if you could log in just under, yeah, there you go. How familiar are you with doing CMAs in general? This class is about right around an hour and a half, not quite that long. And it goes over how to do through Paragon and a CloudCMA. And it just kind of, if you could respond in the questions, how long you've been doing it, that would be great, just so I can get a gauge. And answer Debbie's poll.
Yes, so we've got from 1 to 5 years then. Most everybody has voted. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll and share those results. So we've got some newbies and one that's been in there a little bit longer. So, you know, you love taking a little refresher every now and again. So I'm turning off my screen. I'll be in the background for whatever you need. All right, enjoy your class today, Chris.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to cut off my video feed as well. So we're going to go just to the screen we're going to show is should be the Paragon screen. You guys should be, there it is, it came up. I'm going to turn off, give me a second, my video feed. So you should just be looking at my Paragon screen, and that's where all this is going to start. So welcome, good morning. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this class. We're going to go over how to do CMAs. A lot of the information that I'm going to give you is how I do the CMAs, the way I was taught, the way I've kind of changed my business over the years to do CMAs. You're free to do them however you want. Just use this as a guide or a template. And also, if you're a newer agent and you're not quite sure, and your broker wants things done a certain way, always go with your broker's guidelines. So there are 2 ways to do CMAs. The first one is through Paragon, and the second one is through CloudCMA. And we're going to start out with the one through Paragon. First, it's just a little quicker to explain, and it's a little shorter, the steps to do it. Regardless of which way you're going to go, whether through Paragon or through CloudCMA, it all starts out with basically when you get a phone call from a potential client that says, hey, you know, we're thinking of listing our home. We'd like to know what's our home worth. That's what everybody always asks. And so you say, great, I can come out to your home, and I'd like to give you what they call CMA. My script basically goes, I'd like to do a CMA, which is comparative market analysis. It's not an appraisal. And I can give you the value of your home in today's current market situations. And they say yes. So I'm like, all right, great. I'm going to come out there. This is somebody I don't know. It was a referral through somebody. So I'm not really familiar with the house. So I'm going to make myself familiar with the house and the surrounding areas so I can give them this written report. So the first thing you do, I always do when I get it, is whenever someone calls me up, I go and I do a tax search on the property. We have classes through MiRealSource, shows you how to use the tax tools and everything else, but I'm going to go through and I go to BS&A online. That's where I start. And this house is in Sterling Heights. So I'm going to enter this. And City of Sterling Heights, Macomb. And then I'm going to enter their address. In this case, it's 37780 Lola. Now, in this class, you can try to follow along on your computer because I can't watch you or see if there's any problems like we can when we do our in-person training. It might be a little easier to kind of follow along on screen. And then afterwards, Debbie records all these, loads them to YouTube on our YouTube channel. More on that at the end of the class. You can come back and watch the parts of the parts of what maybe I skipped or you didn't quite get. You can go back and rewatch that. So again, I'm starting off in BS&A and we're going to run the search on this property. The reason I start out in BS&A is the biggest reason is I want to see who's on title, or right now who the municipality is showing is on title. Right now I'm only seeing one name, Nasim Haddad. And that's important because sometimes you get the call when it's in the people, it's an estate and there's a trust, you see the name of a trust on there, or the name of a trust in another person, or a husband and wife, or two names on there. It could be a father, son, mother, daughter, or any combination of. The point is you want to at least see who the property owners are, because those are the people you want to sit down and talk to. If there were another name here and I was just going to meet with Nasim, that wouldn't be very good advantage to my point, because you're going to need both people's signatures on any listing agreement that you go moving forward. Also, if it is a trust, I'm going to ask different questions. I want to find out about the trust and who's authorized to sign on it. Make sure you have those people sitting there at the table with you so you can make decisions. One other note, whenever I prepare a CMA to go to somebody's home, I always print out a listing packet to take it with me. The purpose of me taking a CMA is trying to get their listing. And so if they like what I have to say in the CMA and they're willing to sign right there, I'll go right in and get the listing agreement taken care of right away. It doesn't always happen. It's, you know, it's 15, 20 pieces of paper I got to print out and take with me. But on the times when they did indicate that they want to sell right there, I went or list right there, I went ahead, had the documents already ready. I didn't give them that opportunity to rethink it, maybe get another realtor in there and come back in a couple of days. I already had the paperwork. So just as a side note, take along a listing packet with you, your company's listing packet, just in case somebody wants it, and get it filled in by hand if you need to. Anyways, it starts out, I know right now who the property owner is. It also tells me the square footage of the home, the year it was built, some other information, number of full baths, half baths, all that other stuff. You can find all this on BS&A. I kind of look at the utility, not the utility bills a little bit. They seem current on utility bills. Building department, I glance through this, make sure if there are any outstanding permits out there. Sometimes people build a deck or something on the back of the yard and they don't realize they still have a permit they haven't paid. And of course, tax information. For BS&A, the tax information also lets me know that their taxes are all current, and you know, we don't have possibly a tax issue going into that we might have to for a listing. So I just kind of look at all that. The most important page is the property information. I actually print out this property information and I do include it in my CMA report. I save it as a PDF on my computer. When I get to doing a CloudCMA, I'll show you how to bring this page in. So again, this gives me the information to let me know how to set up my search criteria back in Paragon. So we're going into Paragon. We're going to set up our basic search. It's a residential property. My search screen may look a little different than yours because I've customized mine the way I would like it to look. We talk about that in the class. We're going to search for solds and pendings. Now, throughout this CMA, you'll hear me use the phrase, this is not an appraisal. It's not an appraisal, and I let my clients know it's not an appraisal. However, and most appraisals only focus on sold properties. When I do my CMAs, my school of thought is I also want to include pendings and actives in the area, because solds tell you what the market is saying the house is worth, but pending and actives are in my opinion, are your competition that you're going to be listing a home against. So if your home is very similar to all the other homes that are active on the market, you don't want to be $15,000 above them if there's no real reason for your home to be so much higher. So when I do a CMA, I like to include the actives and the pendings to show what their competition is, and I include the more closed to show what the actual market is doing relative to the competition. Some people don't like to include actives and pendings. I do. So I'm going to search at my actives, my closed, and my pendings. Because we have closed and pendings as a search, you have to come up with a date range. I'm going to start out going 6 months back. You want to get maybe 5, 6 homes to look at in which to draw comparisons from. I've already done the search so that we don't have to waste a whole lot of time. I can just put in the numbers and we can go from there. But you just get it. You want to get around the 5, maybe 8 homes to which you're going to put in your CMA. So we're going to start with 6 months and see where that comes out at. I'm looking for a ranch home, 1-story home. I don't want to get colonials in there, and I know in the area that there are some colonials, so I'm already going to take those out. I don't need to worry about acreage or year built because most of the homes in this general area were all built in the same time. The square footage, though, the subject property is 1,876 square feet. I'm going to go 1,800 to 2,000. You can go a little more or a little less depending on the number of properties you get. I've already, again, done this search, and this is a good number range to get me several properties to look at. I'm not going to worry about the bedrooms or the baths for right now. Just going to leave it at that. And then I am going to search by map the area. So you just click on this little symbol right here. It'll take you to the map search. I'm going to enter the property, 37780 Lola. And you have to either enter the city and state or the zip code, otherwise MapQuest will dump you out in the ocean somewhere. Not MapQuest, the map search will. So that's where I'm searching. Select the little magnifying glass. There's my subject property right there. Again, I've already done the radius to get the results I want for this class. So I know it's a 1 mile radius. If you just enter 1.0 and hit search radius, you'll see it gives me the radius that I want. Where there's clusters of homes here that where you see this circle with the numbers that tells you there are several homes. There are 3 in this area, 5, 2. The reason I went with such a big search is because there's some actives over here and a pending up here. Normally, I wouldn't worry about those being way up there. I'm only including them so that you can see how the reports generate and how they look. It looks better, you know, for visually for you guys if I can show you how it looks with active and pending. So I made my search radius a little better, bigger than I normally would. So then once you have the search radius determined, just click on the results tab and it'll bring up all your properties. As you can see, there are several closed, a couple active, and 1 pending. So again, for classroom purposes and showing you here how the report is going to look, I'm going to include the actives and the pending. As you can see, this one right here is a duplicate on Pemberton. It's the same listing. The 500 number tells me it's a MiRealSource number. So, you know, for the actives, I like to select the MiRealSource, not the other Realtor listing. So if this were smaller, I would kind of go through each one of these. I would open them up and I would take a look at the home to be able to get to understand through photos what the home construction looks like and also what the interior finishes are. Is it an older style, newer style? Has it been updated? Is it really bad? And I want to get on the closed properties because there are so many of them, several that kind of represent more of, you know, I don't want the house that's completely renovated, brand new, and only that house. I'm going to want to try to find a house that's really renovated well and what kind of a high, medium, and low, because I don't know what these clients' house looked like. I've never been inside. So when I go to talk price to them, if I show up with a bunch of properties that are all newly renovated and high-end finishes throughout the home, and their house hasn't been updated, and I start talking price range, it's going to be hard based on the information I give them, you know, to justify where I'm at price wise. So I would take the time and look through each one of these properties, look at the photos, and then make my selections. So this one right here has looks like it has a carport on the side. So right away, I don't want to use that home because based on the photos I saw off of BS&A, my subject property doesn't have something like this, so I don't want to use that home. You just want to do a little bit of your homework and look at the property, go through the properties to come up with a good number of homes to use for the evaluation that you're going to do. I can't stress enough the importance of putting the time into doing a CMA. In today's digital world and AI intelligence everywhere, homeowners can get information on their home through all sorts of websites. By you taking the time to do a good CMA and really demonstrating your worth, you're starting off from the very beginning, demonstrating to those potential clients your worth as a realtor, your market knowledge, your ability to look through the homes, that's what the other computer simulated, you know, comps are going to do. So put the time in to do a really good CMA when you get the opportunity to be in front of somebody, because this is going to be something that can set you apart from them using you and not using you. So I really put a lot of time into going through and looking at the photos and trying to select properties that are going to work at the different ranges along with my actives and pendings. So so just for brevity here, I already told you I'm going to select the pendings and the actives. So when you find the properties you want, and then I'm just going to select a couple of closed properties here. I'm going to try to get 3 or 4 of them at the higher price and lower price right here. And we'll take one more, not that one with the carport. We'll go to this one. Once you've gone through and done your due diligence and selected your properties, you see they have the green bars, highlighted bars through them. All you do is come up to your upper left corner here, select checked. That'll eliminate all the other ones from your search and only give you these properties right here. So these are the properties that I'm going to use for both the CMA through Paragon and through CloudCMA. So I have the properties that I wanted here, and we're going to start out doing the CMA through Paragon, which is a pretty quick way to do a CMA. I also like using this quicker method if I have a client that's interested in writing an offer on a property that's on the market. I use the same process and come up with the same quicker version of a CMA to kind of let them know what's going on in the market if they need help trying to narrow in how they feel making an offer on a property. So CMA in this case is not just for a potential listing. You can also use it with your buyers that want to know what our home's worth in this market. You can use the same process. So we did our search, we found our properties, and now to do the CMA through Paragon, we go to the right side of the screen where it says reports, click the drop down report button, and get rid of this, favorites. You come to this tab that says CMA. It's a drop down tab. You have 3 options. You have the quick view, the summary, and the spreadsheet. The quick view, I'll show you what that looks like. It shows you 3, 4 properties at each time. It just lists them. It's a very quick view right here. You know, I don't use this report a whole lot. That's not the one that I typically use, but I just want to show you what the quick view looks like. If you go back, down here to CMA summary, this is the one. I'll show you spreadsheets next. Spreadsheet is basically reconfiguration of the screen you're looking at. It just gives you a little bit of information just like that. Again, it's not one of the reports I typically use here. The report I use, the one that has the most, that I like the most, is CMA summary. So you have your 7 properties, you click on CMA summary. What it does is it breaks it down into active, sold, and pendings. If you have more than 2 properties, it'll give you the average, the minimum, the max, and the median for each category that you have. So in this case, we only have 1 pending, so it's not going to give you the breakdowns below for the average, the minimum, the max. We should not have 2 Pembertons in there. Let me go back to, sorry about that, default spreadsheet. Yeah, I don't want this one in there. There we go. And just like that, I eliminated it. That was the one that was doubled entered. So here are the actives and the solds and the pending. The reason I like this report right here is each one of these, you can customize the fields that are in each one of these reports. So for instance, this shows days on market, bedrooms, baths full, baths half, car. If for some reason they wanted to see the acreage on there, all you have to do is come up to the top where it says customize fields. And then you go, the only unfortunate part is you have to do each one of these categories separately. So you come up here to customize fields. We're in the active one and we want to do acreage. It's the top one right here, but you can just start typing in acreage and it'll pop up. Acreage, we're going to add it. It's going to drop it in at the bottom and then you hit save. I'm a little ADD, so I want all my fields to line up. So I want to do it for my sold one. So I have to come up to sold, add acreage, add. It'll add it at the bottom. You have to save each one. It is a little bit cumbersome to do it this way. It's not a universal for all fields. You have to do each field independently. Here's pending. Same thing. I'm going to add the acreage, and we're going to add that. And then you hit save. As you can see now, we have acreage is my last column for everything. If I didn't like where the field was located, come up to customize fields. I wanted to move acreage to right behind year built. Highlight acreage, move it up to year built, drop it in there, save it. And then I have to go through each one of my fields and do the same thing. Active, we're going to sold now. Click on acreage, drive it up behind year built. Yep, save. I want to make sure I dropped it right. And finally, for the pending, we're going to do the same process. Pending, and drag the acreage up right behind year built, and we'll save that. And you can see acreage occurs there. The reason I like this is I had a client that was so focused on bedroom sizes. For some reason, he kept feeling that bedroom sizes were different in all the homes, even though this was when I was using it for a buyer. He was so focused on all the bedroom sizes in a home, even though I was giving him the listing tickets for everything, he just couldn't visualize it. So I went ahead and I got rid of days on market and bedrooms and all that. I just put bedroom 1 dimension, bedroom 2 dimension, and bedroom 3 dimension for all these categories. And once I gave him that, then he realized where he was at, and we went ahead and the next home we showed, it matched all, it fell within the categories. Again, I've been giving him listing tickets on everything we went to. He wrote an offer. That's where this case, doing the CMA process worked for a buyer. So you can customize these fields however you want. If somebody had some uniqueness to their house and you wanted to add those columns in there, you can. Similarly, out of these tablets, if you want to take a field out, it's very simple. We're going to take the same acreage one out. We come up to fields. The sold active comes up first. You select acreage and hit remove, and it just takes it out of your table there. We're going to do it on all 3. Sold is my next one. I have to come down to sold, select acreage, remove, and it's that easy to customize your how you want this report to look. And of course, pending. Oops, status, sorry. Pending, and then we're going to remove acreage. Save. I use this report quite a lot for investor clients I have, or other clients that I've gotten to know, or clients that are calling me in and they want to know about certain properties and everything else like that. If it's a referral from somebody I know and I don't need to go through the whole program, I want to get into more of my marketing side of stuff, I'll just include this as a single page report for those clients to show them what their home is worth. And again, that's under CMA summary over here on the far right side under reports. and the report comes up just like this. Prints out really easy. It's a nice, simple one-page report. You can email it to somebody pretty quickly, or however you need to get it to them. That's why I like using this report. It has its place. One of the big drawbacks of this report, however, it does not show the subject property to which you're comparing it. So when I do have a client that I don't know as well, or that I'm going to be sitting down with and I want to give them more of a complete presentation, I'm going to go and present them with a CMA generated through CloudCMA. That's a report that is, you can customize it a lot more. You can include other pages, and it really helps set you apart from an agent who's going to show up with just a single page like this and try to pitch to them why they should be your agent. We use the same steps to go to CloudCMA that you do as we did through Paragon CMA, where you do your search, come up with the properties you want to use, and then you have to go to this bar right here where the actions are, because this will notify the computer to integrate the search that you just saved with CloudCMA. So either going through resources or CloudCMA will get you to CMAs you already created. If we want to take the search like we did and create a CloudCMA, you create your search, you save your properties, you come up to actions, select actions, and we go to CloudCMA right here. This automatically starts creating your report on CloudCMA. As you can see down below, it pulls in the listings already. I do not recommend doing the quick and dirty by proximity down here. The problem is they don't really filter anything. They just take properties that kind of loosely match the criteria and they throw them in there. They don't look at fit, finish. They don't look at, like, for instance, the one that had the carport on the side. Maybe one has a pool, maybe one has a finished basement or doesn't have a finished basement. They just kind of pull properties off through computer simulators. I am trying to demonstrate my worth as a realtor, so I'm going to make sure I go through the listings that I've selected, not the quick and dirty. Put your client's name up here. Make sure it's spelled right, because this is what's on the cover of the report. So you want to get that spelled right. Private notes is a section if you have any notes you want to put in there that you might need to refresh your memory later on. That's what this is for. It does not appear in the report as they say. The other part is the subject property. And this is where creating a CMA through CloudCMA is really good, because it will compare the other properties back to the subject. Paragon CMA does not do that. So we just enter in the address right here, which is 37780 Lola Drive. It already pops up. You can select this. It'll auto-populate the rest of the information. I know it has 3 bedrooms, so I'm going to add that here. The square footage is 1,876, which I also got off of BSNA. It is residential. You can fill in some of the advanced info if you want down here. There's one particular report that CloudCMA generates where it compares several line items. So if you fill this out, that would be great. You don't have to. I'm going to fill it in here. It does have a garage. It's a 2-car garage, and the style is a ranch. Right now, I'm not going to add a cover photo. I'm going to show you what the report looks like without a cover photo. If I have time, I'll drive by the house just to kind of see the neighborhood and look at the neighborhood. So when I'm doing the CMA, again, I'm going to sit down in front of that client and let them know I understand their neighborhood real well. But if I have the time, I'm going to drive by the home and take a picture of the front of the home to use in my report. If not, I'm going to pull the photograph off of BSNA and use that as my photograph for the front of the home. And I'll show you what it looks without a photo first. It's up to you, so you can see how the report looks. So right now we have the name. It is spelled correctly. We have the listings we want to use. We have the subject property and some of the more information about it. So we're going to fetch the listings, which is selecting this green tab right here or at the bottom of the page. Either one of them is going to begin building your report. So it fetches the listings. and it's going to bring in those listings that we talked about down below or earlier in our search. Gives you a little map overview of where they're at. Red is sold, orange is pending, and green is active. It puts them, you can change the order right now. There looks like it's going from the closed ones are highest to lowest. I like to change the order the other way around by price, and I want to go low to high. So what it'll do, we want to go by status. Where did that go? PQRS status. Status, and I want, there we go. So we're all set up right here. Yep, I got them low to high now with status. It has my actives last, my pendings beforehand. If for some reason you want to change your properties around, like most things that come through Paragon, most of the applications, just click and drag and it'll just switch them like that. That's one way to do it. I don't give a price of what I feel the subject property is. The way I was taught and the way I like to do my CMAs, when I sit down in front of a client, I want to give them a range of where I feel the price is, and I want them to determine where the price should be. Most, I have found in my experience, most of the people that I sit in front of to give a CMA and or listing presentation, they already kind of have an idea in their head of what the price should be. They've already been on Zillow, several other places online, neighbors telling them what their property is worth. And I don't want to come in here and put something low and they already have in their head that their property should be $50,000 higher for whatever the reason. So before I even get to price, I want to gauge where their feelings are for the value of their home and try to figure out why, and use this to either support their price or where I feel the price should be based on current market conditions. So I don't want to have anything in writing in case they feel it's significantly higher than where I'm at. And if they look at that, they're not going to be as likely to list with me. So I don't fill in anything for price. I'll also show you right here, you can do details and adjustments. If you saw something on a property that you wanted to adjust the price up or down for, it's very simple to do. I'll show you how to do it. You select details and adjustments for that home. Let's say we wanted to add finished basement. And the price was $10,000. You felt it added $10,000 to the price. You select save, and as you can see, the value of the property just went up by $10,000. I don't want that in there. I'm going to delete it. I don't include details and adjustments in any of my CMAs. I'm not a builder. I don't know the current market costs of construction. I'm also not a licensed appraiser, so I'm not for certain if a higher end kitchen is going to bring so much more, or a basement that's unfinished is going to detract from the sale of the homes in the area. All I know is what the home sold for, and because that's what the market is saying, because I have the closed here. So I take all these properties at face value. What I do is I weed out properties that I don't want, that don't kind of meet the basic criteria of the home I'm looking at. So if something had a swimming pool or a hot tub, I'm more likely than not I'm not going to include that in my CMA with the homes. The one with the carport, I'm not going to include. I'm going to know about it because I look through the property, and if they say, hey, why isn't my neighbor's house in here? It just sold. I'm going to say, well, they had a carport, so that's going to kind of skew the price or whatever. I'm going to be aware of that property so I can talk to it if they bring it up, but I'm just not going to include it in the subject properties that I'm going to use. If you've been doing real estate for a while, you know with appraisers, they usually include somewhere between 3 and 5 properties. That's why I try to keep my closed numbers right around 3 or 4 closed numbers when I do a CMA. I'm showing you how to do details and adjustments if you want. I don't use this part of CloudCMA when I do my report. So this is the page. I have them in the order. This is the page I brought in the listings, and it's going to show you how this is the order in which they're going to appear in your report. If you wanted to add a listing, all you have to do is select right here, go in and type in the MLS number, and that will also bring it into your report. So from this page, we're going to start customizing our report. We have 3 options: the customized report on the top or the bottom. or right here on this tab. Hit customize and it'll take you right to the customize page. So I'm going to select customize report. And now we're going to start actually building our CMA report through CloudCMA. There's a lot you can do with CloudCMA, as I said, that you can't do with the standard Paragon version of CMA. The first off is you have your theme. You can select the color of your theme. You have all kinds of colors to select here. If you work for a particular branded realtor that has certain colors, you can pull those, find those similar to that and use those. We have some of our classic older colors down here, which changes some of the pages. But I stick to the modern colors. I think right now I have modern blue and green. That was the last class I taught. It's a god-awful color, but I'll show you what it looks like and how quickly it is also to change it once you've generated your report. So it's making it modern blue or green. The layout, you have an option with photo with map, 2 photos, photo with max data, all these different options. I'm going to cover these 2 a little later on. For right now, I'm going to select the 2 photos, and I'll tell you why I don't like the page, but I want you to see why I don't use it. If they're in a similar residential area like I am in Sterling Heights, where all the homes were built the same and they're right around each other, I'm not going to include the photo with the map because they'll kind of know where the streets are. If I'm doing a more rural setting where the homes are further apart, or I've had to pull from a larger area to get homes, then I may include the photo with map. For right now, I'm going to show you the 2 photo page and also explain to you why I don't like to use it. The cover, these are Power Pack design covers. You have to be a premium member. They're not included with your subscription to CloudCMA that you get through MiRealSource. I've never had a need to use any of these covers in my practice, so I don't pay for the premium, but I'm just showing you that they're there. The other thing that's really nice about customizing your report to CloudCMA is you have all these different fonts you can use. This changes all the text that for any of the reports that come out. I don't even know which one I have right now. I'm just going to select this one. The nice thing is through CloudCMA, as you're going through, once you start looking at everything, if you don't like it, you can easily come back and change the font and the theme and the layout without really messing up your whole report. There's a standard report that comes out with all these pages. And as you can see, these pages correspond to these different headings that are over here. I'm going to just start deleting some of these pages. This is the default template. I don't want all these in my CMA report. I'm not going to do a cover letter, agent resume, our company. I like what's in a CMA. This is a automatically generated page that comes from CloudCMA. If you want to see what it looks like, all you have to do is select it, and it says what's in the CMA right here. Again, this is where you can see what the font looks like. Kind of don't like that font, actually, so we're going to just go in and select another font. Let's go with Cabin and see what this page looks like now. Personally, I don't know. Well, we're just going to leave this for right now. Some of these pre-prepared pages are great if you're a newer agent and you want some interesting talking points to kind of help with your presentation. They're also good if you're an experienced agent, been doing this a while, and you kind of have your scripts, your talking points when you go into a CloudCMA a CMA presentation and/or a listing presentation. Look through some of this information. There may be some good points in here to freshen up your talking points and what you want to say. I like keeping this page in there because it explains what a CMA is. It talks about that it is not an appraisal and other such things. So I use this page. The contact me page, map of all the listing. You can see each one of these, how it looks. I know I'm not going to have adjustments, so I'm going to get out of there. The analyst chapter. There's a lot of pages here. I'm just going to get rid of these. Just because we don't. Here's something if you want to give to somebody or keep in the CMA. It talks about a moving checklist. If you want to take some of this information and incorporate it into your presentation, you can. I try not to make my CMAs. Here's something on staging your home. I try not to make my CMAs a lot of pages, and I'll explain why later on as we get into it. First impressions. intelligent pricing and timing, why you need a real estate. You can see all these. If you're not comfortable with discussing commission distribution, here's a page right here that CloudCMA includes that explains commission distribution that you can use as talking points. Don't include any page that you're not familiar with. So don't just include this in there, and then there might be something in there that they read through and they go, what's this? And you can't answer it. But if you need a little help in trying to explain how commissions are distributed, they have it. Marketing action plan. We're just going to leave these pages in right now. Suggested list sellers night. Okay, right here. So this would be my report right now if I was going to do it. And I'll show you what it looks like. At this point, you can publish the report or save the template. I'm going to save it as a template right now. So if I come back to this report, I don't have to take out all the pages I didn't want. So I'm going to name it as 37780 Lola. That's all I'm going to name the report. It has about 13 pages. I'm going to save it. This becomes the template for this particular CMA, and we're going to publish the report. So while this is generating on the publish side, I just want to show you what it looks like when it comes up in a PDF format, and then the changes I'm going to make to it. Once it's loading, there's one more thing I want to do. Oh, it's taking a while. Come on, computer. All right, we're going to view the PDF. So this is what it's going to look like. If you don't like the pages in the orders you want them, you can always change it. There's something I wanted to add in here. Back to CMAs. Open up this one. We're going to edit it. I want to, on the customized page, I want to bring in all the photos that they have, because right now it's only going to show me the first dozen on one page. That's under listings, more photos, all the rest. It's going to just put them right in there. So that's 37780 Lola. We're going to save that. Okay, now I want to show you this report. Publish report. All this up here, we don't need this. Any of these pages I'd open. All right, it's publishing now. I'm going to walk you through what the report looks like, and then we're going to go back and make some edits to it and include some items in there. I'll show you how to bring in custom pages and other type things as soon as it's loaded up. And it's still loading. As you can see, I have 41 pages. My experience is people don't want to thumb through 41 pages. They don't. They just kind of want to get to what you're there for. Here is what the report looks like on the cover page without a cover photo. It kind of takes an overhead Google Earth view of your subject property and puts this little purple star right there that you can most oftentimes can't even see. I'll show you what it's like when you put in a cover photo, how this changes. This is the color that I selected, that teal, green, and blue, which I hate. It has the person's name on here. And it also is dated the day you print the report. So if you print this out 2 days ahead of time, the report is going to show up. Like if I would have printed this out on Monday, it would show up October 17th. So try to run your report the day of that you're actually going to be presenting with them. Another side note with the report is I usually email this to the office supply stores that are near me, and I have it printed two-sided in color on a heavier weighted paper. If you try to print it out on it's going to cost me money. It's going to cost me around $12 to $15 to do the report. But I figure if I'm going in on a $300,000 or $400,000 listing, $200,000 listing, I want to demonstrate to them my quality from the minute I come in contact with them, and it's going to start with the report that I present to them. I find if you try to print this off a color copier, or most work our offices, or from home printers, the paper weight is a lot thinner. The ink kind of bleeds on it with the color, and it just doesn't look as nice. I get it spiral bound with a plastic cover on front. Again, that's how I do it, because I want to set the tone from the minute I walk in, that not only is I'm a knowledgeable realtor, but I'm going to give you better quality than anybody else that you may be interviewing for this process. It is a slight investment, I realize that, but for me, it's worth it to try to earn that commission. It has my photo, my name, and my company right there. It has what is a CMA. It has all the pages we talked about. It shows you the contacts or map of the comparable listings in order of the solds, the pendings, and the actives. Because this is such a smaller map here, this is why I don't select the option I had for the property with the map on it. Why show a map when they can already kind of see right here? Summary of the comparable properties. These are all pages that are in there in the template that we had. It also has like these chapter headings, these listing chapters that has all the information about listing. Now you remember I selected the property with the second photo. The reason I don't, I'm showing it because I want you to see why I don't like using it. Most realtors have our subject photo is our primary photo, and then the next one is another exterior photo. And as you can see, what you end up here is basically 2 shots of the same thing. Doesn't look very good. The first dozen photos, if you want to include photos, the first dozen photos you would have only gotten this page right here, which is as most realtors load the photos, we load them in a sequential order, coming through the front entrance, through the kitchen, you know, that way through the house. You would never see the rest of the home. This would have been the only photos they show. By pulling in show the additional pages, you're going to get all these pages with all the rest of the photos for the property. You can see they have a really nice finished basement. The outdoor has a nice deck, all that other stuff. Same for this property, 2 of the same photos side by side. And then it tells you here are their first dozen photos, and then all the rest of the photos as you go through. The reason as you go through all this, I'm going to get out of it because it's loading up so slowly. You have a 41-page report. Now, I don't like to use photos because what ends up happening, in my experience, is the potential clients start looking at the photos and looking what they have either for design ideas or comparing their work to this client's work. I'm not going to get into the argument that, you know, their updated kitchen is better than this person's updated kitchen, therefore they can get more money for it and all that. What I find people start doing is when they start going through these, they look at furniture, they look at settings, they look at where they have ceiling fans, they look at all the stuff that in my experience really doesn't add or detract value because they're personal opinions of what someone's willing to pay for a property. This person they'll start looking at the pool table, the bar, and all that other stuff. I don't want them focusing on that. I want to bring them to a discussion about what their price will be for their home so we can get the listing and move forward. So what I do is back on the report, we'll go back to the report and we're going to edit this one. That's what it would look like if you added all those pages into it. So we already have the listings. We can just come right here to the Customize tab. We don't have to go through Update Listings and all that. When we come back to edit, just go to Customize. Takes you right to that page where all those different tabs are. First off, I don't like the modern blue and green. We're going to just change it. Modern blue and green, we're going to choose a theme. Let's just go with, where's that teal one? I like this. We'll just grab one, doesn't matter. This is how easy, modern, vivid, and blue. We're going to choose that theme. Apply that. Now, you remember when I said I didn't like the photo that was on there. We're going to go back to the home page, criteria. See where it says add a cover photo? I've already saved this photo from BS&A on my laptop. Here it is. I got to find it first so I can pull it over. So it's this easy. You add a cover photo, just select this area. And then I come up to where I already have it saved on my desktop. It's right here. It's got to be saved as a JPEG. And you just hit open and it'll bring it in. Okay. I'm going to crop it up a little bit. and crop it over a little. I don't want all that showing. Kind of right there will be a nice little cover photo for them. We're going to crop that. And we're going to hit update listings. And then we'll go to customize. That'll save the photo. So originally, since I already had the photo, I would have loaded it on the first page. I just wanted to show you what it looks like without the photo being in there. Now we're going to customize our report. We're going to go into the layout here. Title, cover page, agent resume, our company. What's the CMA I want to leave? Contact me. I like, but I usually make that my last page. I'll move it later on. Summary of comparable properties like that. Remember where we had the listing chapter, which was kind of like a chapter there? Since my report is not tabbed to pages, I get rid of these because they're just filler pages that I don't want. We had under introduction, under listings, we had more photos in there. I added that. I'm going to take them out. The easiest way to get rid of most of your photos is in the template you have. Sorry, wrong page. Is in the layout. Originally, I told you why we don't use photo with map, or why I don't like to, because you can already see it. Photo with max data, that's not bad. It just gives you all the information about a house. But again, you're still getting all those photos underneath the picture, and you're going to have a really long report, and you're going to get your clients looking at photos that I don't really want them. I don't want them sitting there and house shopping, basically. This isn't an at-home store. So you can do two-column comparison, which I'm going to show you what that looks like. We're going to select two-column comparison. Get rid of this analysis chapter, and we're going to get rid of all the rest of these things down here because my default template came back up. One of the things I'm going to move contact me to the bottom because I like that as my last page. That's me personally. One of the pages I like to include under the analysis chapter is called the online value analysis. So I'm going to add that. It's not in the default template. I'm going to add that. And I'll show you what that page looks like. I know most of my potential clients that I already went and talked to have already Googled their home and came up on Zillow, and they have an idea of what their home should be based off of Zillow. Why I like this page, first off, is the information is pulled from Zillow. It says source is Zillow right here. And it shows you what the homes are currently at, what they sold for, the sold price, and what the Z estimate was on that day. And as you can see, in both cases, the Z estimate was higher, on average $8,000 higher than what the properties actually sold for. So in some cases, I've seen these a lot higher. I've seen them, 5, 6, 7% higher back when home prices were going a little not so good from what the Z estimate was. So I include this page in my report because I know they've already looked at Zillow, and I want to make sure that I can at least talk to them about their pricing in Zillow, whether their home should be higher than what Zillow's recommending or lower. Some agents don't like to talk about Zillow. I do because I know these clients have already looked at it. I also go to Zillow that day and I pull up their property on Zillow and I see what Zillow's saying their property is worth, and I actually include that page in my report. So I add the online value analysis, and I told you I include the page from Zillow on the screenshot, and I told you I included the BSNA as a page that I include in my report. I'm going to show you how to add that, and those are under custom pages right here. Once you add something to custom pages, they already stay in there. Now, I've already added these two previously before I did the class, so I can just bring them into my report. Right there, there's the BSNA information from that we originally looked at. I saved that as a screenshot and brought it in my report so they can see where I'm pulling the information from. Matter of public records. And here's their Zillow. I screenshotted that and then cropped it, showing what Zillow says. The range is 317 to 376, and they're pegging it at 344. So I'm going to move this page up right below the online value analysis. That right there. The other custom page that I also have under custom page is your CMA criteria explained. I generated this earlier. This is a standard letter that I have in my custom pages where the name, what I searched, it's kind of a summary of everything I did and the homes I pulled out. The biggest thing I use this page is because I have the note on the page at the bottom that says this analysis based on market activity at the time the CMA was prepared, and that this is not an appraisal. So I kind of let them know that if you call me back in, 3 months, 4 months and say we want to list the home at that price, I'm going to caution them that we need to do a new CMA because the market may have changed in that time. So that's another page I'm going to include. Just click on the ad and it goes in there. I put this up at the front of my report, right behind what is CMA. What is a CMA? To get to those custom pages that I'm adding, you come up to the right side of the screen under your icon right here, and you go to custom pages. And I usually load these up beforehand. I do the BSNA, I save it, I bring them in before I do my actual CloudCMA. There are 2 places on custom pages. You have the custom page list. These are Word documents. This is my Your CMA Criteria Explained. All you have to do, you can create a Word document and then save it in here as a new page if you want, or and once I created it, I just come in and modify the body of what I want to say for those people, but it's for my particular client. So this is what I have here. I always leave the bottom the same. Save that. You can create a new custom criteria page explained for each individual property if you wanted to, so you have it. And then they have PDF pages that you can bring in. These always stay there, all the PDFs that you save. I want to include the current market stats for Sterling Heights in the report as well. We have a great class if you're not familiar with market stats and what it is. I want to include it in this report. I want to show you how easy it is to bring in something that's a PDF. Come down to the bottom of the page. Unfortunately, under custom pages, PDFs, if you have a lot of them, you got to scroll all the way down here to the bottom where it says upload PDF. Select upload PDF, and it brings in your where you can pull it from, where you have it saved on your desktop. And I want to bring in market stats Sterling Heights for September. The October data isn't out yet. I'm going to open that. That's going to load it as a PDF page. So now if I go back to my CMAs, again, that's why I do all my custom page work first, so that once I start doing a report, I can just add it all at once. I'm not going back and forth. So I already know I'm going to put in the BSNA. I already know I'm going to pull out the Zillow sheet that I've already saved. This is all part of the due diligence I'm doing up front, and I'm going to have a current market stats page loaded for that area. So we're going to go to customize the report. All right, I didn't save it last time, so I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. I don't want all these other pages in here. Seller net suggested, sold, compare. I don't want the analyst chapter in there. Listing chapter I don't want. Contact me I want at the bottom. We're going to add the custom pages again. Here we want market stats for September, the Lola Zillow and the Lolo BSNA. I want this behind, I got to add in under analysis, online value analysis. And we're going to move the Zillow behind online value analysis. That's why I like it, where I like it. Contact me and your CMA criteria explained. Your CMA. I know I'm doing all this really quick, but you'll see how it all comes together. I don't need our company, agent resume, cover letter, and title page. Here is the title page. So you can see how it looks. It looks much different when you can get a cover photo in there. I like doing this. It might be an older color photo, might not be their car, but at least it looks a little better than that overhead Google Earth shot. So this is kind of how I like the report, and we're doing the 2-column comparison. I'm going to save this as Lola again, save the template so that when I get out of here and if I come back to edit it, I just have I don't have to take out all the pages. It'll save everything that I have right here. What I'm going to show you now is the difference between a 2-column, 3-column, and 4-column comparison. And we're going to publish this report. This is what it looks like with a 2-column comparison. Now remember, my last report was 41 pages. That was a lot. It had a lot of extra photos in it. This one is down to 20 pages, and we get through everything else, and we come down here to the property sold. What it'll do for the 2-column comparison is it'll just, under each category, sold, pending, and active, it'll just compare 2 properties side by side and their remarks down below. Not bad. You know, it's not bad. You can kind of see it. Again, there's no extra photos or anything else like that, so it's good. It's shortened up our report. You see what the home looks like. You see a little bit more information about each individual home, but it still does not compare back to the subject property. So we're going to go back to the CMAs. It still doesn't compare what is pulled up to the subject property. We're going to go back into edit. The only thing we're going to change this time is we're going to go to customize, skip all the other steps, come right here to customize. And we're going to go to a 3-column comparison this time. You have to, unfortunately, you have to save each template before you get out of there, or when you come back to it. When you come back to it, if you don't save it, it'll go back. It'll revert back to your previous defaulted template. So we're going to publish this report with the 3-column comparison. And now we can see what it looks like. The last one was 20 pages, I believe. Now we're down to 14 pages. Everything else remains the same except right here where you have the property. You have 3 of the comparable properties. Active, pending, all that other stuff right there. Looks a little better. Now you're starting to read across on the 3-column comparison what each one has, so that they can get a little bit better understanding of what all the properties have. The page I use the most, and again, I'm just showing you these guys so you can see what they look like. The page I like to use the most is the 4-column comparison. And the reason I use the 4-column comparison is this is the page. First off, it really shrinks my report down. And secondly, so we go back to edit, customize pages. I'll show you the steps again. We're going to use the 4-column comparison. This is the one that compares the subject property to all the other properties. And this is why I really like using this report. It gives a very condensed report with all the information I want in it, in a very good looking format, and it allows a comparison of their property to everything else. Again, we have to save the theme. So should I come back to it? We're going to save it. We're good here. We're going to publish this report. This is the one I use. This is what most of my CMAs are going to look like when I come and present them. This is what I'm sending to the printer to be. I get 2 copies made, one in black and white for me to talk off of, and a color copy for me to give to them that's bound and everything else. Here it is in a PDF format. Everything is the same that we've gone through. None of the pages have changed. They're in the order I like. And here it is. It says subject property. And as you go across, you can see the year built are. They can get an understanding for that. As much data as can be pulled in, they pull it in so that they can see. So now they're starting. This gives a great visual representation of what their property is worth compared to the other homes. These are the ones that sold, which show you what the current market condition is, and these are their competition right now. Because as you know, pendings are only the list price, because we don't know what the price is until after it's closed. And on this page as well, it always starts out with the subject property followed by the other properties. That is why I like using the 4-column comparison, because now I can start talking specifically about how their property compares to the other properties on the market that we're drawing the CMA from. This is also how I'm going to come up with a range of numbers to see what they want to list their price at, their home at, and settle on. Remember when I talked to you about online value analysis? Here was the page I pulled in that was by Zillow. And right behind that, I'm saying, well, you know, Zillow kind of has your house at this 344 range, actually with a big range of 317 to 376, pegging you at 344. Where do you feel your home should be at? Well, and then we'll have that discussion. I've already have a range based on what I looked at here. The online value analysis is saying that the average sold was 361, and the average actives are 364. I might say that based on their home, I'm telling them that maybe we're going to be in the 350s, somewhere in there, because their home, if I get there, if it's dated, I'm going to say it's going to be in the 350s. If it's as nice as that one that had the completely updated modern kitchen, I'm going to say, hey, maybe we listed a little higher than what they're currently selling for in the low 360s. Maybe we push the market a little bit and see where we're going. That's why I don't want to say a price range, because I have what a very nice house looks like and what some lower end homes look right in here. So this is what the report would look like if I were to publish it, and all the way through. And my contact me is at the bottom. I have the BS&A page if I want to keep it in there or not. But that's what the report would look like. That's how you do your 2 CMAs. And before we get out of CloudCMA, I want to show you a couple other tools that CloudCMA has. Back when we weren't able to meet people in person, we could always do a live version of what you just printed out by selecting View Live. You can email the link to these to your clients, and then you can do a live presentation with them where you go through everything and show them how these different tabs, walk them through what each one of these has, you know, and just go through by page. It's a pretty cool version. I'm familiar with it, but I haven't had an occasion yet to do a live one. I've been fortunate enough to always meet in person with somebody. Before you just zip this out there, I would practice using live and the features to see how it actually works and become familiar with it. But it's a really, really good tool, especially if you got maybe it's a property in a trust and somebody's out of town and you could do a live version with them. CMA offers that live version. Also, if you go back to the CMAs, on the specific CMA in the upper right corner for this CMA, you have the 3 dots. You can copy this as a PDF link, copy the live link, or view a slideshow. View a slideshow is kind of similar to live. Slideshow works if you have an office at your brokerage where you want to bring them in, throw this up on the big TV screen, and then just right here is your controller. Walk them through the CMA as you have it. I got to get to another page. As you can see, as you go through the controller, there's up and down, back and forth arrows. If you want to select the down arrow, it takes you to the other little screens that you can read. You know, active home, same thing. The down arrow would start taking you through all the properties, and the home button takes you back to the home page, and for which you can continue rolling through this presentation. That is what we call the slideshow. Okay. And of course, if you want to delete it, just delete this report. If you have to ever go back and edit it, you come right up here to edit, and you can edit it. So those are coming back here to Paragon. Those are the 2 tools that we have to create a CMA through Paragon. One is through CloudCMA and one is through Paragon. Both start out by doing a search both start out by going to BS&A, pulling up the tax information so you know who the owners are, to make sure you're going to be talking to the owners, and then to find out the property information. That establishes your search criteria. Then you do your search criteria. Then you do your due diligence of the property you actually want to see. As we had all these properties that came through, and I selected the ones I wanted. We select checked. From here, we can either do the quick version, which is the reports drop-down screen CMA summary, which summarizes all the properties, but it doesn't compare back to the subject property. And of course, these columns are all customizable by using the customize feature. The other way of doing a CMA is selecting these, going up here to actions, which I forgot in the beginning, and going to CloudCMA, and it'll import all this information, and you can start doing a Cloud CMA from there. If you want to go to a report that you've already done maybe a day or two ago and you want to find it, you can either come through CMA here or resources. You go to Cloud CMA, it'll open up that page, and here will be that CMA that we're working on right here. And you can edit it, view a PDF, view it live, do whatever you need to right here. So those are the two ways in which we can utilize Paragon to do two types of CMAs. I can't stress the importance of putting the time in to do a good CMA, because this is really going to help demonstrate your net worth, your net value to a potential client, maybe somebody you haven't met that was a referral, that you know what you're talking about when it comes to their property and their home. That kind of wraps it up for the CMA portion of the class. I'm just going to go over a couple of things on Paragon for you guys, unless there are any questions. I think Debbie, nope, I haven't seen any. So Debbie was there answering if they were. So at this point, we're about done. I just want to wrap up a few things that's more general knowledge on our Paragon home screen. As always, if you don't know already, we have YouTube, a great YouTube channel. It's right here under this blue bar. If you select that, it'll take you to our YouTube channel. Oh, it's not going. Debbie does an amazing job after all the classes that are taught, whether it's this one or several other ones that are taught. She uploads them here so you can come through and watch these CMAs. You can go to the parts that you want to find out on. There are other classes that have been taught that I needed to brush up on. I come here and go through the class to, brush up my skills on it. All these systems are always changing regularly now. There are always new updates. Sometimes button changes or features are added. So you can find out these different videos that are here just by coming to our YouTube page. Of course, please subscribe to our YouTube page. We'd really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. It helps us with generating more content. The other thing off of the home page is up in the corner here in this really thin blue bar in the top. It has MLS documents. If you select MLS documents and go to education, is that right, Debbie? This one right here, education.
Yeah, but I like the other one. That only has about 80. There's less files in that one if you go to the MiRealSource education.
This one right here, okay. MiRealSource education, 98 files. It pulls up all these handouts and PDFs that have been generated that we have here. You can find them. You can do kind of, if you want to find CMAs, you can go CMAs, and it should pull up the ones on CMA so you can quickly find them. All you have to do is select one. There's one on how to do lead gens through CMAs. The step-by-steps are all right here, walk through with the screens. Some really good information is there. Those are in our MLS folders under MiRealSource education, and they're all right here. Scroll through and you find out a lot of that information here. I find myself referring back to these. Sometimes I haven't used a particular item in a while, so I come back here and look at the how-to steps and walk through them rather than trying to figure it out on my own, bang my head against the wall. So that is up here under MLS documents. That kind of wraps up this whole the whole class on CloudCMA for right now. And unless, I really appreciate you guys coming in and joining us today. Hopefully things are picking up for you and you guys are all staying busy. If you have any questions after this, reach out to Debbie. She's great at getting back to you guys. Deb, is there anything else before I end the seminar?
You're good to go. Thank you again very, very much for teaching today, Chris. I always enjoy your classes.
I can't wait till we can actually do it in the classroom.
I think your next one, we've got you scheduled in a class. Brian's getting that camera hooked up, I think today. So we'll get out there and do it again.
Look forward to seeing you, the agents, in the classroom again or online. Keep selling. And again, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you letting me talk to you about how to do CMAs. It's a really, really great tool. I think it's an underestimated tool, and enough realtors don't fully recognize the potential that a very good CloudCMA or a very good CMA can do for you. And again, they also work with on the buyer side. I use the quick one off of Paragon if I got buyers that kind of want to help understand the market as well. Again, thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to end the seminar. Have a great day.